peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Viewers, those listening to this tape or this video, I want to bring to your attention that the politics of proxy wars in Africa is becoming real, and it has become a reality. I want to bring to the attention of the African states that time and time again we have fallen victims of proxy wars. We fight wars that are not ours. We fall in conflicts that are not supposed to be, don't help Africa, and they don't help our countries at all. The proxy war that is in East and Central and the Horn of Africa has been ignited, supported, equipped by France. It has been very real that the French government, quietly through its company called Total Oil, has been searching for resources around the triangle of East and Central Africa and Great Lakes region and the Horn of Africa. The LAPSET was one of them, which could have been a landmark project for the people of France. They withdrew from it. The Tanga to Mwanza, they made it, they withdrew from it. The search for oil and resources through Total Oil has brought us the dangers of a proxy war in the region. It is therefore very prudent for people of the region to understand the dynamics that we are going through. For example, in Rwanda and the Burundi conflict, there is a proxy war. We are fighting a proxy country. It has brought us to a war between the two countries, between Uganda and Rwanda and Burundi. There is a proxy war in Congo who is sponsoring a resurgence of rebels that are fighting President Tshisekedi because he was not supported by countries that we know very well. This type of strategy has happened in North Africa, where Libya has been reduced to rebels, where each faction, even the government supported by United Nations, is being bombarded by a rebel called Khalifa Haftar, who is funded by countries that we know. The question of Somalia and the Kenyan maritime presents a challenge.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you very much. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from the Republic of Kenya, across the bridge in Nairobi. The capital city of Kenya is none other than Miriam Ogutu. Good morning, Miriam.
Doctor, it's afternoon here, just 22 minutes past noon.
Yes. Oh my God.
It's okay.
I am very far away from
That's all right.
The sun across, is it tropical of Cancer? Mm-hmm. It is heading towards tropical of Capricorn.
It's all good.
And so things are very different. Good afternoon in Nairobi. Good afternoon across Africa. Or in Africa, it is good morning. So I was not wrong. Some parts of Africa, like Nigeria, in Biafra, in north of Biafra, in Maiduguri, Enugu, this is morning. In Kumasi, Ghana, is morning. Good afternoon and a good morning, Africa. In the southern part of Africa, Marare, South Africa, Maputo, Mozambique, where rebels are still killing people. The proxy war. In Democratic Republic of Congo, across Miriam, where rebels are still killing people. It is good morning. So I am not wrong. I'm not wrong. I'm greeting people from two different sides. Good morning, my panel this afternoon, and good morning, my panel that will be watching us for the next 2 hours to find out what exactly is going on. A proxy war in Africa. Proxy wars, call them wars, very many. And I'm going to go bit by bit, stone by stone, soil by soil, sand by sand. That's very good for you, Mr. Tawish and Miriam. I'm going to deliver a song as Shakespeare said. You know it very well. I will not say I came, I saw, I conquered. That is Julius Caesar. And I read Shakespeare talks about the play of Macbeth. A man who speaks up, stands up, speaks for the truth, does not die without the truth. It is now imagined that in Africa we have a proxy, partners of war. People put us at war and run away. Mercenaries come through our countries. They disappear, they cause war, they make money and bank it across. They disappear. Africa, stand up and stand up to defend yourselves. There is a proxy war, of course. Looking at what is taking place in the region, Miriam will come through with the reports, and we shall be very candid. But let me take you, because usually when we rush into the Kenyan scenario, people think that we are targeting somebody. But we want to educate people why Africa has a proxy war. Let me go back to my own country, Uganda. The problem between Uganda and Rwanda. If there is anybody, including President Museveni and President Kagame, who can tell me the truth that why our border should be closed for 2.5 years when we call ourselves African leaders, I want to give that man or that woman a cup of water, because I don't have much money to give rewards. I'm a poor man who came from a poor beginning, but a man who speaks out the truth, a man who defends Ambazonia, a man who defends Biafra. I have defended them without a penny, and I will continue to defend them. Whatever nonsense you want to speak, you can speak up to heaven. But it remains, I'm now going to be very, very, very difficult. You bring it on, we go for yours. We bring it on, we finish it. I want us to go step by step. Uganda and Rwanda. Miriam, you are an African. Tawish, Wesonga, Joseph, Karanja. 2 neighboring states speaking the same language almost. A border closed for 2.5 years. Is this Africa, or we are in Pacific Ocean? Just give me a glimpse, William. What do you think? What do you think for yourself? Look at the proxy. What is the proxy war? Who is creating this war? Who has put the war there? Who has made Rwanda and Uganda for you to if you were Rwandese, for you to deliver your body, your mass into Uganda, you have to pass through a country called Kenya before you reach Uganda. For a Ugandan to go to Rwanda, he has to find a South African Airways that will fly him to South Africa or to Dar es Salaam. Then from Dar es Salaam, he can go to Rwanda. Is this what we want? Proxy war number 1. Just put it there. Proxy war number 2. The question of Libya. The continent of Africa today is suffering. A few years ago, I and Tawish, I told you, Miriam, the first week she arrived in this company, Punchline Africa. I remember I was doing a very serious topic on Libya. That's why she likes Africa and the diaspora. She enjoyed that topic. Resolution 1970 of the United Nations Security Council. What does it say? Why did you bomb Libya? Then you go to your parliament in Britain and say it was a mistake to bomb Libya. That lies were used to bomb Libya. The United Nations Security Council, Resolution 1970, that empowered NATO to rain bullets on Libya. Where are we? Where are we, my panel? Proxy war number 2. Today, I am doing the real teaching. You can fill in the gaps. Don't waste much time. Hammer the point home. Proxy war number 3. The Boko Haram of Nigeria. Who is funding Boko Haram? Where does Boko Haram get its resources to fund itself? Why is Nigeria government never asking for help to do away with Boko Haram? Because it is a proxy war. Buhari knows it is a proxy war. Buhari uses it to cover the internal dissent. That's why he does not want to finish it. If Buhari was a sincere African, the war would be finished. Boko Haram would be dead. But Buhari works with another company called Total Oil. Today I am going to reveal so many things. Get your pen, you, all of you. Don't sit there. Get your pen. Total Oil knows the war. Buhari does not call for help. Mr. Buhari has never called for help for African Union to help him to fight Boko Haram. Why? Proxy war number what? 3 or 4?
3.
Number 3. Mm-hmm. Let's come back to Democratic Republic of Congo. Who is funding the rebels in Democratic Republic of Congo? Who wants Congo to go down? That's who wants Congo to go down. Who told the African heads of state not to recognize Tshisekedi? Who? I'm delivering blow by blow. The African Union chairperson from Chad called Mohamed Dr. Muhammad Faki is actually Faki. I'm sorry. In the Swahili language, means stupid. He wrote a letter, of which I have in my file, explaining, calling upon all African heads of state not to attend inauguration of President Tshisekedi. You are very stupid. Then later on, you recognize Tshisekedi, and Tshisekedi became the chairperson of African Union. What a proxy war. Whom are you working for? Hallelujah. Medium proxy war number what? 4.
We go to number 5, yes.
That's number 5.
That's number 4. We go to 5 now.
Number 5. Proxy war number 5 is the Central African Republic. Who is fighting in Central African Republic? French, South Africa, Rwanda, Uganda, Bozize. Who is supporting Bozize? Today we are telling that Africans, you can kill us if you want. Lakini, we are going to stay the truth and remain. If you think our facts are not there, cross-check them. Cross-check me. And you will find that what I'm talking about is the truth. Who is arming Bozize to overthrow a government recognized by UN and the AU? There is a state in Africa, in the middle of the Great Lakes region. I will tell you the name later. And let's move on. The French said they control Central African Republic. Why haven't the French stopped the war in Central African Republic? They have gone there to draw diamonds. As you look on the picture as I speak, French diplomats caught with diamond boxes. 5 Airbus every day leave Paris to come and pick our diamonds and leave Central African Republic in war. Who is going to speak for Africa? African Union has gone. They captured that small boy, tall man, useless. I don't know how his children look like. But if they follow the father, they are in big trouble. They captured him. He's more visible in Paris than he is visible in Addis Ababa. Remind me, Miriam, that's proxy war number 7. Is it 6?
No, it is 5. You're going to 6.
6 now.
Yes.
Let's move up from Central African Republic. Let's come to Chad. General Adris, the president of Chad, who had just won an election, was assassinated. Nobody, up to now, a whole president dies, people did not even, they did not mourn for a long time. They just installed the son and they moved on. Does it occur to you that he's an African? A president of a country is shot, killed, displayed with bullets on national television. And we have a battalion and battalions of French troops across that region. Who knew that General Khalifa Haftar, who funds Khalifa Haftar? Who gives Khalifa Haftar guns? Who's training the 300, over 400 to 9, about 3,000, 5,000 Libyans and the Jadians in Egypt. What are they doing there? It's a proxy war, number 6. Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Proxy war number 7 is between Egypt, Ethiopia, Sudan. Have you seen it? Do you people see it? It's a proxy war under Tigray. Now, ladies and gentlemen, those watching me across the continent, who's funding this war? Egypt complained of a dam being built on White Nile or Blue Nile. Is it white or blue?
Blue Nile.
Blue Nile. The white one is the one that comes from Uganda. Because we are always white. White. Maybe are we white? Open invited. Invited. Not divided. Invited commas. Proxy war between Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, Tigray. It has caused, and Eritrea, it has caused a war. But who is funding the rebels? Who is giving the rebels guns to dismantle the government of Ethiopia, elected? Whatever you call it, it is elected, recognized by UN and the AU. Mark it there, my panel. Proxy war number 8 is Al-Shabaab in Mogadishu. Who funds Al-Shabaab? Where do they get their uniforms? How do they obtain their food? How have they not been defeated? Why is it that the uniforms of Al-Shabaab look like the uniforms of the army of Saudi Arabia? How? How do they obtain them? Who's funding them? After killing us, where is their logistical headquarters? The logistical headquarters is in Asmara, Ethiopia, Eritrea. They kill you, they run back, they go on the plan from Asmara, they come back again. Proxy war number 8. Proxy war number 9. I think let's go slowly. Which is beginning to smell. Smelling. You can see people talk about it, they don't talk about it, they have forgotten about it. If you touch the islands in Indian Ocean, what product will you get? If the ICJ rules in favor of any state in Indian Ocean about the Indian Ocean maritime, what is the war? The equivalent of that war. Call it war number 9 in offing. Put there offing. It is smelling, Miriam. Don't you smell it where you are sitting? Some people are not telling the truth about this. The ruling in ICJ is coming next month. The United Nations Security Council should avert, sit down, instead of Kimani telling us how they are doing very well in New York, should be telling us how they are preventing a war in the region. I have no regrets because I started this subject before they started the subject. So if they want to listen to me, listen to me. I don't care anymore. I'm sorry. I've done my best. This war is looming. The United Nations Security Council under Chapter 7 of the United Nations Security Council, we should have moved to defer, to do what we call a deferral. A deferral is done at any stage of the proceedings to stop any proceedings so that Somalia and Kenya comes back to the table to find an amicable solution for the conflict in the Indian Ocean. We have not done that. We are here walking around, we are diplomats in suits, taking per diem on a daily basis when you don't even know one single iota of why you are taking the per diem. Thank you. PROXY war number 10, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Let's move. Time. PROXY war number 11 in Africa.
10
in Africa is in Mozambique and the southern part of Tanzania. Before I come to the western part of Tanzania, let me touch number 10, Cape Delgado. Cape Delgado Karanja. Put on a smile because we are being vindicated. We have been telling people here that there are people here who deal with mercenaries, but people don't listen to us.
Yeah.
They think this is Uganda and goes on shouting. Now you can see mercenaries are coming closer to your doorsteps. Hallelujah. And it is going to be bad. How if these ones can come? How many have been coming? That's the question you should ask. That is the question, Miriam, which you should ask the panel. Someone uses his diplomatic immunity, goes to the airport to clear people, and then you call yourself a leader. Let me not color my discussion on a cheap person. So, very cheap. I've never known. Cheap, very cheap. Look here, Miriam. The war in Mozambique, in Cape Delgado, where Rwanda and the SADC troops have joined hands to try to pacify Cape Delgado, is a very dangerous war. Why? It is on the route of narcotics. Do you know why they fight? It's narcotics. There is a route of narcotics. The narcotics that come from Afghanistan, it has got a briefing center somewhere around there. Today I will not reveal it. We shall deal with it on Friday. Remember, we have a very major conference coming on Friday on African security. We can deliver this. Our Africa must be defended. But we Africans also must stop being used. PROXY war number 10, is it 11?
11, yes.
11.
Mm-hmm.
The situation between Burundi and Rwanda. Do you realize that Rwanda is squeezed? Uganda and Rwanda, they don't talk. Burundi and Rwanda, they don't talk. Who is the beneficiary here? Who is the owner of the PROXY war? When a coup took place in Rwanda, in Burundi, sorry. President Nkurunziza was temporarily overthrown. Some few days passed. His royal soldiers entered Bujumbura, dislodged this general. The general disappeared in the thin air. We don't know where he is. But investigative journalists, in my heart, I know where he is. So we leave it there because Rwanda is very touchy. And Kagame is my friend. So I wouldn't like to talk. At times he does things which are very good. I like Kagame myself. And anybody in Uganda don't hate me for liking. After all, you worked with him first. You worked with him. Now, if you turn against each other, don't blame Matanga, who said all of you were not good. I finished that long time ago. I have no problem with President Museveni. I have only problem if peace is not held. But my peace that I negotiated, Your Excellency President Museveni, listen to me. My peace that I negotiated in northern Uganda holds on. Holds on. And I'm a happy man, despite you calling my man, which I will die calling your name, because you never paid my money. And the son coming around here telling me, oh, they keep me money. Give me my money. That's all I'm asking for. You want to ask me when I'm in the grave? Give me my money. I give to my children a share and I go to the grave then. I did my job. I negotiated an agreement. I signed an agreement, peace, return. You conned my money. And then you call yourself, you threaten me. Give me my money. I need my money. Whether here, in Britain, anywhere in the world, I will need that money. You can do anything. Do what you want, bring me my money. If you ever see me talk again, I will be a very stupid man once you have given me my money. My allowances, and Dr. Riek Machar, you are now in power. I fought for you from South Africa. You were in detention, being detained, crying to me every day, every evening, making noise for me to be released. Now you don't cry for me, for my money to be given. You are the chief mediator. Why don't you pay me my money? Why have you paid everybody in the world? But because I am a Mugisu, I am hated by Museveni, my money cannot be given. And you want me to keep quiet? 300,000 US dollars. Confiscated. EU, European Union, that gave us mandate and the contract. Wanted to pay, you said you will pay. So you want me to keep quiet? Sorry, Miriam. This is also the opportunity for me to ask for my money.
We need that money.
Instead of causing a proxy war. Hey! I'm asking for my money. I and the President Museveni, we don't have any difference. I don't have. I finished my difference when I shook his hand. That is the picture. I will never come back to fight you. But I want my money, which you promised, which you said, my allowances. By the way, when I say my money, it would look like you are giving me a gift. It was my allowances for my work I did, which was being paid to everybody. And you said as a government, you repay me. You told Chisano, he's going to be with me on Friday. We shall call you. Hey! We shall expect our call on Friday, Mr. President. I need my money. If I don't die, If I don't say it now, you want to say it in the grave. Where will I say it? I don't care. 300,000 and $32,000 of United States of allowance of 3 years hard work. Stupid. You think I should keep quiet? And you telling me, oh, the son is here. Oh, you don't. Bring me my money. That's all I need. I did the peace process. Let the world know. Let the world know. Don't bring me confusion. My money. Miss Madame Amelia Chambade, my money. You were told to give me. Dr. Wakana Rugunda, my money, you know it. Give it to me, then kill me later. I'm not going to keep quiet. If I died in the bush, Miriam, my children will be walking naked with nothing. But I did what I could do. Then my brothers turn on me. They tell me I should go and collect my money from the president. When the president will always meet, why doesn't he collect it for me? Why doesn't he give me my money? Like other people who were paid on the delegation. Only 2 of us were not paid. What crime did we do? Because we are not from one tribe which has amassed wealth in that country. I need my money, that's all. I don't have any problem with President Museveni. He might have authorized this money, but there is a thief who took it. A Ugandan thief called Amelia Chambad and a group. They took the money. Mr. President, I'm sorry your name is dragged in this because they never delivered that money to me. So don't say I am annoyed with you. I don't have any problem. Lead the way, Uganda, the way you can lead it. It is up to, I tried my level best to liberate my people. They failed. They failed me. Now I even lost. President Mugabe had to rescue me, to rescue my house, to rescue my house. And then you took my money, smiling at me. Oh, Ndugu, oh, Ndugu, oh, Ndugu, that Rugunda there. Hey, Ndugu, Ndugu. This time, Ndugu, Ndugu, wachana me. From 2008 million to dead. When will I get the money? When I'm dead? That's a proxy war. It's a non-proxy war. Let's return to the proxy war between Burundi and Rwanda, which was number 11. Mm-hmm. It is there. It is looming. It is happening. It could happen anytime. The last proxy war that has been fought on the continent of Africa is number 13.
12.
The conflict in Mali and the Great Maghreb. In Mali, you saw the president last 2 weeks, a man with a dagger coming to kill him. All this is proxy. Some people paid the man to stab. How do you enter that mosque with such a long knife? That's a proxy war number 13. The Mali conflict never ends. What is in Mali? Uranium. So it will never end. Another conflict which is very near Miriam is South Sudan. Many people think now there is relative peace in South Sudan. They don't want to talk about it. There is an army. Thanks God, something in Kenya yesterday happened, is exposing quite a lot of things. There is a general in the Sudan army, in South Sudan, former army general, who runs Sudan Liberation Salvation Front. Now, Miriam, where does this general stay? I think so.
Okay.
The owner of Nash,
Yes.
the one fighting in Equatorial Province.
Yes, Equatoria State.
Yes. Central Equatorial.
Yes.
Who is disrupting the peace of South Sudan? Who is the partner? Kenyans, open your eyes like this. Have you seen mine? Mine are like this. But Anafone, they conned my money. I opened and then they conned my money. Now I'm open like this. Who is funding that war in Equatorial Province between Nimule and Juba? I want Salva Kiir to listen to me. Mzee Salva Kiir, some of your friends in East Africa are betraying you. That's another proxy war. You will find that the friend closer to you is also equally funding another general to disrupt the peace that IGAD worked hard to bring. Why don't we get rid of this as a proxy war? Miriam, you are an expert on South Sudan. You have wondered why the South Sudan war cannot stop. Now you can know why it is there. This general poured money in another economy here, one economy in Africa, in East Africa. He's built buildings, he's bought some, even a quarter of Nairobi. And then, my friend, you can't catch him. He deals with a man who clears him every day. Now it has been established that some units go to clear some people. Surely if you're a leader, don't you do what we call cross check before you board a plane with somebody? Some of these leaders are childish. You could end up actually boarding with a terrorist who blows all of you. There you are. Yes, I know Miriam has some facts about that. And we're stronger. Yeah. I'm not going to touch there because once I touch, they will say Matanga, Matanga. Yeah, you know they like saying Matanga, Matanga, Matanga. But I tell you the truth, it's unfolding in your eyes.
But doctor, obviously, if you're going to take a flight together with a very, prominent person like a deputy president of a country, obviously the deputy president has information about that person.
Yeah, that is why the information has now come out.
It's fully aware.
Yes, when you get that person and ask him why you are here, when you are on international list being looked for, doesn't it occur to you? Now, yeah, honestly, the deputy president has got a list. He can see who is bad person, good person, wrong person. But it seems he doesn't see. He doesn't see them. You are found with what an embarrassment. If this turns out to be true, which I think it causes a proxy war. Am I wrong? Isn't it the last proxy war
It is
about to have?
it is possible, and maybe because
if you bring, now
Yeah.
it has, where were they going? Now, before I close and I leave you the floor, the international protocol is very clear
absolutely.
that if you are going to, I used to work for Dr. Milton Obote. If we have gone for a private visit, by then when we were working, there was no camera. There was no laptop, nothing. You don't take photographs officially. You see, the paradox here, Miriam, is when the deputy president goes to Uganda as a private visitor, he ends up being an official guest and then take pictures talking about Kenya's official matters. So you need clearance to go and talk about Kenya's affairs officially with that president. But if you are going for a private visit, remember you remain the president, the deputy president of Republic of Kenya. There are two things you can do. Nobody will stop you to have a girlfriend. And don't look at me, Tawishi, that I've said he has a girlfriend. He might have, who doesn't have? People have girlfriends. But married people. You can go quietly to that girlfriend's house and come back without telling people you have gone. It's a private visit. But when you turn around, go on a private visit to open factories, to lay foundation stones, that is now government. Because you are responsible. You are using the government machinery, the newspaper, the journalists, all these are government paid. The protocol is for the government. People who are welcoming you at the airport, taking you out, they are taking you out as a deputy president, not as a private citizen. So those tangas who are shouting, first go back to school and read protocol. Read the protocol. If it is a matter that you want to talk about Kenya, you can talk it privately. But immediately you use the word private visit. Whom have you carried along privately? A band of mercenaries. Some mercenaries, some good MPs, some childish MPs like the man who used to work for me where in that chair where Miriam is sitting, Dindi Nyoro, my panelist, who used to do what Jabani Karanja is doing now. Okay? He's also now among the delegation. Go quietly. Have your good life in Kampala, because there is a lot of good life in Kampala. My friend Oscar, recently we met at the airport. He was coming from Zanzibar. These trips, what are they? What are you looking for? The answer is you are looking for money for campaign for 2022. But look it in a decorum. Use decorum to look for this money. Don't bring tension between the two countries because you want to become a president of Kenya. I have never been involved since 2008 in any activities that can bring tension between the two, because apart from my money, which I ask quietly, openly, publicly, and the next time when Mohoz, the son of Nani, comes here, ask him to give me the money, because they have plenty of money. And if they ever hear me talk again, after they have given me mine, what was owned, which is mine, it pains me to go and look for a man who has killed 1 million people. You sit with him, convince him. Insects bite you. Some insects there have been there for millions. They don't die, they bite you. You come back, and then you are not paid. Someone cons your money. That is what it is. So, Miriam, I want to submit. I think my panel has been rich enough to hear. They have over 50 minutes, which we can enjoy. Let's take. Don't be in a hurry. Don't speak too much. Just pick your points. I've given you the scenarios. The other one I've forgotten is Sahawari against Algeria, against Morocco. And I want to tell you, there is another problem coming from Morocco. Morocco is becoming a cheap sponsor, a very serious sponsor of some bad activities in Africa. I will bring you the dossier. Kenyans will be shocked what is going on. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And maybe the issue of Kenya, maybe Kenya's Foreign Affairs need to write a protest letter to the government of Uganda, because I think at this point that is very disrespectful of the government. Of my own opinion, I don't know if it's correct in the Foreign Affairs way of handling things, but I think it's very disrespectful for the president of Uganda to be hosting the deputy president of Kenya, and at his private capacity or whatever it is that they're calling it, without the involvement, the knowledge, and the respect, towards the President of the Republic of Kenya. So I think this is the point. The Foreign Affairs Ministry writes a protest letter to the government of Uganda. Samuel Tawish, of pick on anything, one of the things that Doctor has talked about there.
Very well, thank you so much, Miriam Ogutu, Dr. David Masanga, my colleague panelist, and everyone who's watching this program this afternoon, morning, or wherever you're watching it from. Miriam, Dr. Masanga has highlighted so many issues regarding the continent of Africa, and of course the destabilization, the proxy wars that is in the African continent today. But I think just before I get into commenting onto other matters, maybe I should begin with the Kenyan matter. And I think Dr. Masanga has elaborately put this into perspective. One, Miriam, is that Deputy President William Ruto ceased to be a private citizen when he was elected into that office as Deputy President in 2013 and consequently in 2017. And therefore is a public official. He is the second in command in as far as the hierarchy of Kenyan government is concerned. And therefore, he understands too well what is the protocol, what is the procedure within which he is supposed to engage if he wants to travel outside. So if he tries to do it outside those parameters, I think it is just an aspect or an attempt to try and perceive or draw a picture of one who is being persecuted for political reasons, yet he knows too well what is supposed to be done. Miriam, in itself, as we even get into 2022 general election, there are so many funny and exciting things that are going to happen. One of it is, of course, what you saw yesterday with Deputy President William Ruto, because, again, they do not want to do the right thing only for them to want to cry wolf later. They want to cry as victims later, yet they know exactly what is supposed to be done. You saw Didmas Barasa, the MP for Kimilili, just the other day. He slapped a contractor, a person who has done an enormous job for the people of that particular constituency. And he was just but asking for his pay. You saw what that MP did. He went ahead and actually inflicted rather physical pain on that particular contractor. But when he was arrested, the only thing he did and was trying to defend himself was that he's being persecuted because of his political association or because of his, decision to support Deputy President William Ruto. So what I'm trying to say essentially, Miriam, in as far as the Deputy President matter is concerned, and for any public official who will want to travel outside, the protocol is very clear. I mean, the procedure is very clear. Let each and everybody try to follow this protocol so that we do not create an unnecessary attention under no special circumstances that we saw yesterday. I want to rest it there because, of course, Dr. Masanga has spoken extensively on the same. Miriam, if I should speak briefly also, if I should speak rather briefly on the question of the proxy wars in the continent of Africa, Dr. Masanga himself, and of course some of us who have been with him for quite some time, has had, of course, has been speaking about this. For example, the effort and the behind-the-scene maneuvers to try and destabilize the sub-Saharan nations. And he had given us a record of over 15 countries. And indeed, it has come to pass. We've seen that destabilization. And today, as we speak, even the same continues to happen. But what is the common denominator out of all this, Miriam? I suppose there's a French hand in whatever is happening in the African continent. If you speak about the proxy, the war between Somalia and Kenya today, the sour relation, which blows hot and cold every other time, when you try to get into the nitty-gritties, you try to get into the bottom of it, you get to understand, Miriam, that basically there's a French hand in it. When you go to, say, for example, Rwanda today and Uganda, it is almost the same thing. What happened in Libya, the killing of Muammar Gaddafi, Miriam, some years back, was a destabilizing element for many nations in the region. And today, as we speak, so many nations really have gone down simply because of the killing of Muammar Gaddafi, because in himself, he was a towering figure who meant well for the continent of Africa. Maybe we would have had a different continent altogether had we still had the former president Muammar Gaddafi, Miriam. But essentially what I want to say in a nutshell, Miriam, is that France has been addicted to looting and exploiting, of course, Africa since the times of slavery. There are still, of course, French military bases and soldiers in Africa today, even as we speak, under the pretense of trying to give protection for the African people. But in fact, they are here, as you understand, Miriam, to control and oppress the local citizens. Because even if you talk about the resources, say, for example, the oil that the French government is, of course, extracting from the African nation, is it for the benefit of the people of Africa, or is it for the French government? There's an allegory, Miriam, that goes, bleeding Africa, feeding France. I mean, they take these resources and leave the people of Africa in abject poverty, but the whole of these resources and the proceeds of it actually go to benefit the people of France, which is very, very unfortunate, Miriam. In a nutshell, what I'm trying to say is that France is basically working behind the scenes to sponsor coups and install administration that they can remotely control and dictate and entrench the kind of policies that they want in the African nations. And when they get a person who is not subscribing to that policy and the ideology, that is how you see that we are having these proxy wars. They want to make sure that by hook or crook, these administrations are actually removed out of power. For now, Miriam, I submit.
Okay, thank you. Daniel Wasonga.
Thank you, Miriam, and of course, it's a pleasure having been to this show at this particular time. And of course, I've been paying very, very much attention to the details of the proxy wars across sub-Saharan Africa and the Sahel region that Dr. Masanga has articulated in his submission. And all I can say, Miriam, is that we need now to look at the resultant effect of these proxy wars. You know, if we are having proxy wars in every corner of the African continent, it only means that the leadership and the political stability of the continent is at stake, and therefore, in every corner of Africa, you only have maybe one or two countries which are actually witnessing some calm in terms of the political atmosphere, but most vast part of it is actually in political mayhem. And who is the beneficiary of these kind of disorganization? Actually, as my brother Tarwish puts it, it is the Western powers, the people who sponsor these kind of politically instigated upheavals are the ones who actually reap big in this. And Dr. Masanga said in his opening remarks about 5 Airbus planes leave France every week to come to Africa, Central African Republic, to be able to be filled with diamonds. And that is the fashion of events. We're having airports deep in the forest in the Congo region. So you ask yourself, what is the interest of having an airport or maybe planes doing in the deep equatorial forest in Congo? And the answer to that is that they are only interested in our resources. And that is why even today we are having upheavals in Mozambique, because we have some Western powers who are interested in oil. And it's only perhaps maybe Western powers. On this particular platform, we have also realized that We have other Middle Eastern countries like Qatar also, which have also taken a space in the game, and they're actually actively instigating such kind of proxy wars between Kenya and Somalia over the Indian Ocean oil blocks. So to me, Miriam, I think Africa has to stay awake. We have to realize that all these things that are happening, the negative things, the wars and the fights that are happening in the region are all to the benefit of the Western powers. And as we fight amongst ourselves, as we have escalated tensions and suspicion between Rwanda and Burundi and Uganda, you realize that trade is actually stopped from the borders of these particular countries. And what happens? We are forced to import goods and commodities from Europe. I saw the other day, actually in West Africa, more people are actually eating chicken, which comes from France, rather than having the homebred chicken. So that tells you that whenever we are fighting as Africans, whenever we are having those tensions between Uganda and Rwanda, then it is the Western powers that reap big out of this. One, through making sure that they take away our resources. Two, by sabotaging economic development, by ensuring that there's no business between member states. And therefore, in the long run, Africa is one which will lose. And just like they say, Miriam, in the African setting, that if two brothers fight, then the neighbor will inherit the land. And that is the same thing that is happening to Africa. I submit.
All right, thank you so much. Dr. Joseph Nyanchama.
Oh, thank you, Miriam, and my fellow panelist, Dr. Masanga. Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Please, Miriam, allow me firstly a few seconds to comment on what Dr. Masanga wrote about the scenario in Kenya yesterday.
Go ahead.
Let me make a statement, and I think I made it the other day. There is this fallacy about the privacy of trips. Miriam, if you slap me as Joseph Nyanchama, Miriam, you will be accused of assaulting me, just a simple felony. But if you slap a deputy president, it is never called an assault. Let any lawyer challenge me. It is called, Miriam, a national instant. Do you know why? Because a person of that stature is like a personification of a nation. That is why it is called a national instant. So this myth that I am on a private trip is indeed a myth, and the people need to be very realistic. There is no way, Miriam, as a president, you can say you are on a private trip. Either you hand over all your instruments and it is pronounced in public that you have handed to Miriam the deputy presidency, and when you go there, no single guard from government or state, you purely go on private. And I think we need to be very realistic here. Instead of gymnastics every time and again, people issuing statements. That will be for another day, Miriam. What was even interesting, Miriam, before I leave there, look at the people who were combating, people who have been abusing your boss, Nyoro, and Sudi, honestly. Miriam, through history, which I have read myself, a president called Richard Nixon during the Watergate scandal. Billy Graham, who was his pastor, a spiritual leader, he told his allies to tell the pastor not to come pray for him because he wanted to protect the spiritual leader. He didn't want the spiritual leader to be seen working with the man who has been found with scandals. How can you, Miriam, work with boys who are abusing a head of state at The other time they were saying, sisi ni watoto wa Mau Mau. What was he going to do in Uganda with watoto wa Mau Mau? What are they hiding? These are NSI's questions this republic needs to ask. Miriam, let me move to the proxy wars in Africa. That is, makes me mad sometimes. Mm-hmm. I want to say one thing to conclude these proxies. You know, I used to have a grandmother when we were chasing the hawk which has taken out the chickens in the village. He used to tell us, you boys, stop running around. Where was your hen when the hawk was taking it? The conflict in Africa, let us ask ourselves, where are our leaders when other parties are creating conflict? This is the question we need to ask Africa. And what is the answer? Because the people who have been bestowed with the responsibility to protect their respective citizens in their countries have decided to serve more than one master. Who is the prime master? The citizens. Who is the next master now they are serving? Self. Who is the other master? These are the characters from the Western world. Because the common saying goes, if you serve more than one master, you will lie to one. Until the African leaders sincerely resolve to serve one master, the citizens of their various countries. Miriam, I won't lie to you, nor will I lie to this TV station. We will be continuing to have the proxy wars forever. I am appealing to our African leaders, please serve one master, your people. Miriam, I usually say when I have opportunity to speak, you cannot burn your fingers to keep your hands or body warm. I repeat, you cannot burn your fingers to put your hand warm. These characters who are being used by cheap money wants to burn fingers. The fingers here is the beautiful countries they lead, just to keep their body warm. Please, may these leaders see sense and avoid conflict when they hear these messages articulated by Masanga, my fellow panelists, Tawish, of course, coordinated by you, Miriam. When will we have sense in Africa? How many times, Miriam, will we continue to speak? What are these characters? Anyway, Miriam, for now, I submit.
All right, very well. Dr. Joseph Nyanchama, I feel the Pan-African in you really are getting annoyed with some of these characters, and I think as we should, as well we should. Thank you so much. Jevan Karanja.
Yeah, thank you very much, Miriam, and good afternoon to our viewers wherever they are catching this broadcast from, and to my fellow panelists, Dr. Masanga, Nyachama, Taruish, and Wesonga. First of all, I'll dive into the matter involving our deputy president and a frequent visit that he is having in Uganda, and the recent good rapport that they have created with the president of Uganda. Miriam, I think it would be wise for the deputy president, if he feels now he is being stopped to go to this travel in his capacity as a deputy president, I think it will be prudent if he resigns and continues with these visits as a private citizen, because when he goes there in the capacity of the deputy president, the state has all the capacity, all the powers to ask for accountability or to get to know what is he going to do in Uganda. But if he is a private citizen, maybe he could be having some easy time traveling around Zanzibar and back to Uganda and so on. Therefore, I think the problem lies with the deputy president, because he knows the protocols that he needs to follow. He knows what he needs to do. He knows what he has been doing since 2013 when he has been the deputy president. Therefore, I think he's just trying to bring these dramas so that he can get some sympathy votes from Kenyans, because they are used to do that, Miriam. When you look at that camp, they usually pretend or they act as victims of state intimidations, but that is not the case. When they are caught in corruption, you heard Rigathi Gachagua saying that he is being haunted because of his stand politically. Therefore, they have mastered the art of acting as if they are being intimidated by the government. And I think these are some of the issues that they are still pushing on when you see the deputy president causing all this kind of hectic. But Miriam, on the same note, look at the people who are following the deputy president, the people who are to board with the deputy president all the way to Uganda, as some known criminals, as people who have been known to cause havoc around Syria and other parts of Africa. They are known drug dealers and so on. Therefore, it's so unfortunate when we see a deputy president dealing with those guys, Miriam. And it's said that birds of the same feathers flock together. Therefore, we might not be judged wrong if we conclude that the deputy president might be in one way or the other involved in some of these illicit activities that are happening across our borders. Because when you look at the people around his inner circle, Miriam, is the likes of Oscar Sudi, is the likes of Dede Nyoro, are people who are known for their bad and questionable character or reputation when it comes to how they act or how they behave or how they do their businesses. Therefore, I think that was so unfortunate. But I think if he can go as a private citizen and resign, then he will have some good time. On the issue of the problems that we are having in our continent, the proxy wars, Miriam, I think this, and I agree with the rest of the panelists, is mostly the issue of having some external interferences and having leaders who are not loyal to their countries, having leaders who have sold their loyalty to these masters for the sake of cheap money and some corruption deals. That is why they end up endangering the lives of their people so that they can benefit in some of these deals. Why they'll keep their people at stake so that they can benefit. I think that is not the right gesture. And I think it's high time as Africans, we start pushing, we start advocating for good leadership, advocating for leaders who are clean to get into office in the first place so that we can avoid some of the problems that we're having. Because in Africa, when you look at those countries which are having all these kind of problems, when you look at Uganda, you'll see Museveni is a non-dictator. When you look at Rwanda, you know the problem they're having. It's all about because Museveni wants to dominate or to have a say in East Africa when it comes to leadership, or to dominate, or people to surrender to his word. Therefore, I think it's so unfortunate that we have leaders who can sell their country for manipulation by these external factors. Because when you look at all these wars and all these the tensions that we have in our countries, it's all because there's an external hand. There are people who want to exploit our resources. There are people who want to take our oil, our diamonds, and so on, and the copper and other rich mineral resources that we have in this continent. Because for sure we are blessed, but I think we can be more. We can actualize our blessings by having leaders who will put the interest of African first. Leaders who will exploit the resources that we have and make Africa what is supposed to be, a great continent. Because we all have what it takes. We have the population, we have the land, we have the capacity to be where we are supposed to be. Because where we are, this is not our dream. We are heading, we have a dream where we want to take our continent, and we'll only do that when we have leaders and the citizens who know what they need and how they can do it. Therefore, and when you look at the issue of terrorists and so on, you'll find that these terrorists, the Al-Shabaab and every other Boko Haram, they are sponsored by some of the leaders in office, or they have some say, or they have some connections with external funders who give them money and the machineries and so on, and some trainings here and there. Therefore, we need as Africans to rise and protect our continent so that we can move to the next step. I submit.
Very well. Thank you. Chairman Karanja, all the way from Nanyuki town. We had a guest, a panelist. I don't know if he's still there, Edgar Adonis. I guess not. Doctor, if you can hear me, conclude the show for us.
The guest was called who?
Edgar.
Edgar who?
Adonis.
Okay.
Has left, yes.
Miriam. Going for a private visit is not a problem. But going about how to go to a private visit is the problem. That's point number one. Point number two. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Going into a private visit does not stop people from engaging in protocol that deserves the status of a person. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs protocol and other protocol, the Vice President, the Deputy President is accorded the status of the presidency wherever he wants to go. It will be very candid and kind enough. Why is it questions that can be asked? Why is it that the deputy did not want to ask for permission? It is because the people that he was traveling with did not want to be known apart from the MPs. Because if you ask official permission, the government of Republic of Kenya will give you official delegation. And if you ask for a private visit, the government will allow those people, but mark you, they are paid by the government of Republic of Kenya. If anything happens to them while they are in Kampala, you must know them. Two, the money, it is very clear that the deputy president, the office must submit a manifest. That manifest of a head of state or a deputy president of a country must be read by all agencies, isn't it? So that we know who is flying with the deputy head of state. He could be a drug dealer, a bomber, a terrorist, a knife. People are being killed these days. You know, the president of Mali was going to lose his life. A man drew out a dagger. Ready to stab. So, I think the DP has handled it very badly. The result that he wants is public sympathy. Don't lose that. It's public cheap popularity to say the government is victimizing you. We don't care whether he sleeps with a monkey, a dog, anything he wants. I'm not saying he's going to sleep. If he goes for private seat, he can sleep even in a forest. But mark you, even when he sleeps in a forest, he's the head of, is deputy head of state of the Republic of Kenya. There will be soldiers who will still guard him. to make sure that the animal, even the animal is sleeping with, does not kill him. You can go for a private disco. But when you are a deputy president, even the person you are dancing with, we have to check him or her, because she could have a knife in her panties and kill you. That is security. So I don't think the people who stopped the plane from going are wrong. No. They needed to know everybody. And once they know everybody, fine. But now the truth is coming out. That how many of, my question is, how many of these bad people have been coming? Miriam, how many? The other time we got arms. Someone died in the office of the deputy president on a fake arms deal. The deputy president did not know. He said, I don't know. Someone died. A very young man whose grave everybody has forgotten. Have you seen that, Miriam? Do you remember the grave? Does the deputy president pass by Baringo to say hi to his parents? But some people came and met in his office. They met in his office, sat down and with fictitious documents, and they admitted they have been going to that office and they have been using it. The government kept quiet. It allowed its investigations. They have the files. They sat on the files. There are so many instances where the state has been overlooking. But now, given that there is something like this of this nature, that even a terrorist from Turkey can be cleared to enter the airspace of Kenya, stay in Kenya and enjoy our girls. Especially, yes, he has been enjoying these Turkish people like girls. They have been enjoying our small girls. In fact, when you find them, they show you an identity, the business card of the deputy president's office. I found some of them in a hotel where I go for the gym. Oh, we have come to see from Russia. They can't speak English. So what is this that this guy does with these guys? They can't speak English. They don't know even the switch of a sauna. You have to go to the gym and press Tawish. You are getting worried. You have to, they say, how do they operate the jacuzzi? Russian, tall, big. So where are we? Then you ask him, when he comes out of the sauna, you ask him, whom did you what business do you do? Oh, I came here, and you know your vice president, deputy president. Hi. As soon as they mention that for me, I pretend. But they are always there, scattered, scattered in these big hotels that they have come to see a particular office. I've never found one saying he's going to see president in the State House. All of them. And then in Uganda, they use the Uganda embassy. Your embassy there, not Uganda embassy. The embassy should know, because the ambassador was going to welcome them. So when you say you are going to a private visit, the ambassador across, my friend, the man from Kitui, who is apparently his friend anyway, and a friend of all of us, he would have to be at the airport to meet the deputy president. because he has gone there as in official capacity as the deputy president. So, Miriam, on this thing of Kenya of yours, diplomatically, I think it has been handled very badly by the deputy president's office. They should have gone and got all the documentation, delivered their manifest, the list of people accompanying our your deputy president, whom you voted for. But because you are hiding someone in this group, you don't want the name to be known. That's why you go Kifua. And when you reach there, maybe people have also been training. But look, who owns the aircraft that was taken? It's a mercenary. Have you found out the aircraft that they were using? Who owns that company? Wesonga. Do you know the owner of that company? You know the mercenary guy who was impounded by the United States, Prince somebody. Do you know him? Tawish, Google that. The company that was carrying the aircraft, it is on the manifest there. Who allowed this company to operate in Kenya? How does this company operate in Kenya? You see, everybody is looking down. Who is the owner of that company that always, why is it that he doesn't use any other person except the master? The owner of those aeroplanes is in jail. You know him, Blackpool something. You know him. Ask Stephen there. They will tell you quickly.
Yes, I can.
He's involved in mercenary activities. William. So when you look at all those, put them together, the whole thing of the deputy president, he handled himself in a very bad way. It's a matter of asking your boss, I am going away on a private visit to meet my girlfriend or to see my village, my maize or my animals on my farm that I bought in Uganda. No problem. You have got the answer?
Mm-hmm.
What is the answer? Someone has the answer there near Miriam.
Yes, his name is Eric Prince, a former CEO of Blackwater from the United States.
Thank you very much. Mm-hmm. Is the one operating those aircraft. Who allowed him to operate aircraft of that nature in Kenya, which are secretly carrying people? Jamani, nyenye, Kenyans, please, when trouble comes, one day you will think some of us were mad people. The other time we allowed Mr. Madam, what is her name? This Rosaline Yombaka, what? This funny, small, ugly person, girl. What is her name? The one with very bad legs. Very bad face. What is her name?
Akombe.
Rosaline Akombe. When I tried to insult her, somebody said, oh, she refused you. So refused me. I have beautiful people to look at. Yes. First of all, she's too short for me. I like tall girls. Tall is a brand of deity. You never find me with these problems. Yes. Mr. Karanja, I think you saw me on our last trip. We were organized, all of us. We walked all around the Indian Ocean, didn't you? So, it is only Wesonga who missed. Don't you see the beauty that we have? Tall. Hakuna hii watu ya hiyo tena unaanza kuficha ficha, unaficha. Eh? Yes. Give a credit where it is due. I have selection. And here we are. You can see from, it begins from here. So let's go on. And you know that a gombe was not my food. So if you want to go and have a gombe, it's your problem. Just tell the state I am going. Nobody is going to follow. But the state needs to know where, in case there is an agent, Miriam, let's look at it from this point of view. If there is something very urgent and the head of state wants to attend to, and then they look for the deputy, he's gone on a private visit. What will happen to the state at that time? So, let the DP cool down, compose himself, and research. Instead of kuandikia watu, it's all right, tumwachie Mungu. Na wewe unafikiri, how many people pray for you? Wakuachie Mungu. Haki ya Mungu. How many people have you also considered? Unakosea watu wengi. Why the deputy president thinks that he's the only one who has God? Everybody prays. Na wewe iko watu wengi wana pray tukuachie Mungu wewe. So hiyo mambo ya kutisha haki so right, tutuachie Mungu tu. Na wewe iko watu wana pray. If you didn't know, Mr. Deputy President, iko watu, they kneel down, whose houses you have taken over. They kneel down. They are praying for you every day. Na wewe, tuachie, wacha, including me, wacha na mimi ni kuachie Mungu. Mungu to sort out. Wewe unawachia sisi Mungu tutufanya. Watu walifanya nini? Just you have failed the interview. To go and tell your boss, I am going to Kampala to go and see my girlfriend. Or I'm going to Kampala to see my farm. I left 2 cows in Kampala. I'm going to do a business which will bring money for my children. Nobody will refuse. Sindio Baba, Sindio Miriam. I don't think President Kenyatta is very bad to say no. But you bring a mercenary on in your manifest. Add him in the manifest. Then you say, tuachie Mungu. Na wewe uachue Mungu tu. Hiyo mambo ya kutisha watu na gonga watu hiyo wacha. What people are about to tell you the truth. Megonga watu wengi sana bwana. Wachana. People are getting annoyed. Did you not see that in Tawish? People have lost their people mysterious. Then wewe unakuja kwa nini unasema tumwachie Mungu tu. That is it. Do you know that is very dangerous? A head of state cannot talk that. Is that a talk of a Jupiter head of state? Have you ever heard of that? That is for a village neighbor who is quarreling with you over your cows have eaten his maize. Karanja in Nanyuki quarrels with them. Ng'ombe zako zilikula mahindi yangu. Wewe bwana nitakuachia Mungu tu. Ai! Is that surely? What did he call him?
Hiyo ni hatari sana.
I grew up in my poor family, but my mother taught me good manners as a Christian. Mama, thank you very much. To respect people and I say, I'm sorry. Thank you very much. I am in need of something. I'm sorry, I'm going away. But you can't turn your mistakes on people to buy sympathy. Miriam, in short, that is exactly what the DP is doing. It is high time the Kenyans knew what type of person they are dealing with. This man is buying sympathy. Nobody is stopping him to go and meet President Museveni. He's a head of state. We can quarrel over things, but I cannot belittle the head of state of my country. I can't. But I can quarrel and complain about my money, which I was conned in. And he has never asked these people, did you give Matanga the money or not? Okay? I've tried all possible ways diplomatic. I told Mrs. Wapahaburo when she was an ambassador, she failed. She told me everybody was stopping her from saying it, and she left. Now, that's all. Whoever is hearing here, that is all. I did a job, and the others were paid. I was not paid. Yeah. And yet it was not him supposed to pay me. He told the Europeans, I will pay Matanga. So what happened to the money? I lost. So you tell me, I don't have any problem. I went on tracing who was supposed to pay me. I found out who has eaten the money. I am left. I can't fight. There's no ambassador of Uganda who has never known about that money. Anywhere in London, I put it before a madam who was the ambassador. Pay me my money. Nobody has ever brought the results. I kept quiet. But I don't turn into a monster to start causing chaos. No. I've kept quiet. I'm a sober guy. So that behavior of the deputy is equivalent to the behavior of Buhari. Thank you very much. I want to thank all of you for attending this stormy and interesting. I don't know, Miriam will give me the credentials for having done were there 13 or 14? 14 conflicts. Mm-hmm. We 14. Shall widen them later. PROXY wars. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. God bless you.
All right. Thank you so much, Doc, and thank you, our panelists. And indeed, thank you, our viewers, for watching. This has been Diplomatic Leaks there on the proxy wars in Africa. My name is Miriam Mogoto. Good afternoon to you.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.